Grand Theft Auto is one of the most notorious names in the gaming industry. Now, if you mention Grand Theft Auto to someone today, they're probably going to think about Grand Theft Auto 5, the latest title released back in 2013. If you're a bit older, maybe you remember playing Vice City 3 and San Andreas. And if you think of any game before 3, you might just be old as hell. I don't know personally, but jokes aside, I thought it'd be a really cool idea if I sat down here and made a retro review on my personal favorite Grand Theft Auto game, Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, maybe a controversial take, but just my opinion, I think this game is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. Whoa, okay, put the pitchforks down. Let me explain why. For one, we have the story. Now, Rockstar has been known for their compelling stories. Just look at games like L.A. Noire, the 2 Red Dead Redemption titles. Grand Theft Auto 4 follows the main protagonist, Niko Bellic, a man coming to America to escape his past but also find closure in it. Basically, Niko grew up in war-torn Yugoslavia, and a lot of his friends were killed by someone in his group, and he has 2 suspects that he thinks are in America. And he needs to escape a man who owes a lot of money to, so he is picked up by his cousin Roman, who has been exaggerating his lifestyle in emails Niko. He's expecting luxury when instead he finds a shitty apartment in a rundown cab depot. Now, the story does start out very slow. You aren't getting to shootouts and selling yayo after the first mission. You do jobs for Roman with his cab depot, and the action doesn't really start to pick up until you save Roman from some Albanian gangsters. This introduces us to the hand-to-hand combat. Now, at first, it can be kind of clunky if you are used to Grand Theft Auto 5's hand-to-hand combat, but one thing I think this game does better than 5's is its counters. But, commenter, I see you typing that 5 does have counters. Well, yes it does, 4 is entirely different, and I'll explain more about it in a little bit. Now, the first time that the game actually gives you a gun is when you do missions for Little Jacob. He's a Jamaican drug dealer who uses Roman's cab business to get around. He hands Niko a pistol, and we have to help him escape an ambush. The gunplay in GTA 4 isn't bad, but it has some flaws that I'll explain more in depth when we get to the gameplay section. Now, Niko's story sees him reluctantly join the criminal underworld, meeting various contacts, and it's a very dark story as well, dealing in betrayal and dishonesty. Now, another reason why I think that the story is done really well here is because it really questions the player's morality sometimes. It'll let Niko, and by proxy you, the player, actually decide, do I kill this person or spare them, or do I kill this person instead of that person? It really questions your motives and your morality, and that's something that I don't think many games have done. The individual characters that you meet across your time in Grand Theft Auto 4's story are also really cool. The game's antagonists mainly are done really well here, with the main one in my opinion being Dmitry Rascalov. He comes off as this calm and smart right-hand man to a big Russian gangster named Mikhail Faustin, but later turns out to become a complete psychopath and an asshole. There's also Vlad, this big Russian loan shark that threatens Roman. Niko does some jobs for him, but when Vlad sleeps with Roman's girlfriend, Niko takes care of him. He's always talking about his powerful friends, but after you kill him, it's revealed that his boss doesn't even like him. Now, after Dimitri's betrayal, Roman's house and cab depot are burned down and the cousins must leave. They end up living with Roman's girlfriend Mallory, and Niko does some work for some various contacts that she knows. First, we have Manny Escuela, a former gang member who has a filmer follow him around as he cleans up the streets, and I say that with heavy quotations because he just has Niko take care of it and takes all the credit. I found this character to be very annoying and cringy at times, if I'm going to be completely honest. Niko also works for Elizabeth Torres, a drug dealer who instructs Niko to go oversee a deal with 3 other people. Playboy X, another drug dealer, and Johnny Klebitz, Vice President of the Lost MC, who will become a very important character later on, so remember that name. The deal, surprise surprise, ends up being an undercover operation by the cops. Niko and Playboy escape, and Niko starts doing work for both drug dealers. Elizabeth's arc doesn't really last long. She has about maybe 3 or 4 missions, and one of her last missions, the Snowstorm, was a major pain in the ass for me when I first played this game 6 years ago. On this playthrough, it wasn't too bad. I was able to beat it first try, but I've heard from other people that this is a very annoying mission. Now, Playboy X's missions start off really good and fun as Niko needs to kill a bunch of mobsters on a construction site. It's also during this time that Playboy's mentor, Dwayne Forge, gets out of prison and feels disconnected with the modern world, and he feels abandoned by Playboy amongst other people. Nico does some jobs for Dwayne, and eventually Playboy will ask Nico to kill Dwayne, and Dwayne will ask the same about Playboy. Now again, this is another morality thing. The player needs to make the difficult choice who lives and who dies. I personally think the only correct option is to kill Playboy. Getting rid of Playboy gets you his fancy loft and for some reason Claude's outfit from Grand Theft Auto 3, which strange but also a really cool Easter egg. There's also Brucey Kibbutz, a steroid-abusing garage owner who was friends with Roman. Nico does some jobs like stealing a police car to locate someone's whereabouts, catfishing on the internet, and more. Brucey, in my opinion, is one of the funniest characters in the game, and he made me crack a smile anytime he showed up on screen. Then there's the McCreary family arc. It starts with Francis, a police officer who is looking to become the commissioner. Now, he uses Nico to clean up his dirty work. One of the best examples is one of my favorite missions where he has Nico apply to a lawyer's office to kill said lawyer who has dirt on him. Now, this lawyer is actually a massive dig at attorney Jack Thompson, who in the early 2000s would actively campaign against Grand Theft Auto, blaming every incident related to violence or guns on Rockstar, so this is their very petty retort, and I think it's hilarious. Then we have the rest of the McCreary. The main contact is Packy. Now, Nico saved Packy's life during a deal gone bad when they were working with Elizabeta. Now, Packy's jobs mostly consist of a lot of gunfights and a lot of fun. I can't say I didn't have any fun during Packy's missions. One of the main missions in the game also happens to be the best in the game, 3-Leaf Clover. 3-Leaf Clover is the bank robbery, and it's probably the hardest mission in the game. I had to retry it 4 times. 3 due to dying, and once due to an unlucky crash. Now, one of my more big complaints with this game is the fact that there's a lack of mission checkpoints here. It soon became very annoying to have to die and redo the entire mission. Now, Saints Row 1, another game from this era that came out in 2006, 2 years before, also doesn't have mission checkpoints, and I give that game shit for the same thing. Granted, GTA 4 is better than Saints Row, but still. My point being is that maybe it's a skill issue on me. I'll accept that, but just the fact that there's no mission checkpoints, this became the biggest complaint I have about this game's story. Now, Grand Theft Auto 4 is one of those games that doesn't have a good ending. Both are equally bad. At the end, one of the mob bosses, Jimmy Pecorino, will ask Nico to do a deal with Dimitri, but Nico refuses. Now, the game does give you 2 options. You can do the deal or take out Dimitri. I chose the revenge ending, where you finally take out Dimitri. After this, Roman's wedding comes, and Pecorino accidentally kills Nico's girlfriend in a drive-by. And then you take out Pecorino in a final mission that, while really cool, is pretty stressful, actually. And if you do the deal ending, Dimitri betrays you and again sends an assassin to Roman's wedding, only this time with Roman dying. And then the same mission plays out with just Dimitri instead of Pecorino. So there really is no happy ending here, which you don't really see outside of many Rockstar games. Now, we've spoken about Nico, but I think it's time we talk about the real main protagonist of Grand Theft Auto 4, Liberty City. Now, obviously, this is a spoof on New York City, featuring various landmarks and locations akin to the real New York. I really can't speak on its accent because I've never been there, honestly, but from what I hear, it's really well detailed. And there's even some famous landmarks that are parodied, like Times Square, called Star Junction, and the Statue of Happiness, aka the Statue of Liberty. And for some reason, it has Hillary Clinton's face on it with a hot cup of coffee. Now, I don't know if YouTube will actually let me tell you why there's a cup of coffee in her hand or why Clinton's face is there. But if you know, you do know. And trust me, if you don't know, maybe don't look it up. But if you're old enough, look it up because it's pretty f***ing funny why. The gameplay mechanics are another reason why I think GTA 4 is better than 5. When it comes to the combat, we have the hand-to-hand combat. Now in GTA 5, you can fight, punch, kick, and dodge. You can do that in 4 as well, but 4 has it differently where if you time it correctly, Nico will do some crazy ninja shit where he'll take the knife out of someone's hand or he'll do like a spinning back fist or a roundhouse kick. And they actually got El Guapo himself, Boss Root, to do the motion capture for the fighting, which by default makes it better and cooler than 5's. Now, gunplay is another area where I think it's great, but it does have a couple flaws. For one, I feel like sometimes enemies that aren't wearing body armor, even the ones that do, I feel like sometimes they take way too many bullets, even from the starter pistol. Some enemies I killed in 2 shots, and some of them I killed in 8. Now granted, this isn't counting headshots and stuff, but one thing they do new here is, to my knowledge, this is the first Grand Theft Auto game to actually have a cover system. Now the cover system is great and it's helpful, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, there will be times where you'll go in cover and he'll just go in cover into the completely wrong position, leaving you wide open. Or another times when you're in cover in a gunfight and someone calls you to go bowling or something, and you have to stop what you're doing, stand up, and pick up the phone call, leading to you dying, which is very annoying.
Nico and Roman!
Now, the police are a big part of any open world crime game, and the cops in GTA 4, they don't around.
Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way!
When you're driving through Liberty City and you come across these toll booths, normally you pay $5 and boom, there you go. But if you decide you're not going to pay that $5, well, you're ready to be chased by cops. You could be walking on the street and you can just bump into a cop, give them the smallest love tap. They will try and shoot you. I don't know why, it's just a simple bump, I apologize, but they'll shoot you anyway. And if you just slightly tap them while you're driving, yeah, it's 2 stars. So the cops, they hate you. They hate you, they hate everything about you, and they will arrest you for the smallest inconvenience. I think the cops also put up more of a fight and a challenge in this game, as seen in 3-Leaf Clover. Now, the police in 5, they're not pushovers by any means, but I think in 4, even the basic 3 or 4 star wanted level was giving me trouble. And I just overall think the police were done well in this game. Now, on to probably the most controversial, community-dividing thing about Grand Theft Auto 4. Its driving model. On the one hand, you have people that say it's dog shit, it's too realistic, it's too weighty. All of those are true. And then you have the side that I fall on, where people say that realism is actually pretty cool, and there's some skill to it. Now listen, I like GTA 4's driving. I don't have a problem with it. It's not that bad. I like the fact that you can't go speedy and then turn a corner because you're going to flip your car. Granted, sometimes it was annoying in chase missions, and the bikes in this game are kind of hard to use to the point where I try to avoid bikes, except for one instance I'll get to later. But I will say this though, GTA 5's driving, it's not bad. I actually like it. It's relaxing, it's more user-friendly. But when you crash your car in GTA 5, okay, you know, it's a small crash, but when you crash your car in 4, it's a full-on vehicular accident. Like, I'm talking multiple cars rolling, Nico can go flying through the windshield. And I would be remiss if I did not mention and show you the infamous swing set glitch involving the vehicles. Just take a look. But we aren't done with GTA 4 because this game actually has 2 full expansion DLCs. Released first was the Lost and Damned. Now remember how I told you remember the name Johnny Klebitz? Well, that's because he's actually the main character here. Now, Johnny is the vice president of the Lost Motorcycle Club, and the game starts with Johnny and their club picking up their president, Billy Gray, from rehab. During my playthrough of The Lost and Damned, I found it narratively-wise. I was comparing it to the plot of one of my favorite shows of all time, Sons of Anarchy. And I'm not saying this in a bad way or an insulting way because I love the show and I love The Lost and Damned. This is actually the first time I've beaten it. But I do have some complaints. One, we don't really have any player customization for Johnny, which wasn't like the biggest problem of all time. I didn't really piss me off, but I thought we could have had some player customization. 2, this DLC is stupidly short. I beat it in one sitting, and it's only going to run you about 7 hours just doing the story stuff, which to me is kind of bad. Second of all, they decided to put this weird hazy and fuzzy filter over it, which I question. I honestly don't know why they decided to make the game look all foggy and shit. At first, I thought it was just my PS3 because I played base GTA 4 on the Xbox One and the DLCs on PS3, but when I played the second expansion DLC, I found that to not be the case, so I wonder why Rockstar decided to do this stylistic choice. Either way though, The Lost and Damned is a good DLC and worth your time. There's even some side content that you can do besides the story. Like, for one, we have the races. Now, these aren't your ordinary races where you just ride your motorcycle and race. No. we have baseball bats that you can whack the shit out of the other racer with, which pretty cool actually. And we also have the gang wars, which is it's 25 of these in the city, and gang wars are exactly what they sound like. You do drive-bys on the various other gangs and motorcycle crews in Liberty City. Now, again, most of the ones I got, because I only did about 10 or 15 of them, were just drive-bys, but some of them are full-scale assaults on bases, which is really cool. Again, for some side content, pretty fun. Moving on to the second DLC expansion, we have the Ballad of Gay Tony. Now, the ballad follows Luis Lopez, who again is a very minor character who appeared a couple times in base GTA 4. And the ballad actually starts with Luis being one of the hostages in the 3 Clover Bank heist. Now, the main gimmick of the ballad is its nightlife. The nightclub theming of the ballad makes it really special and cool because it adds something for you to do besides missions or just hanging out with your friends. In the nightclub, you can dance, you can pick up girls' numbers, you can get drunk off champagne and fall down the steps. Even the game's presentation is reflective of this, with it being vibrant and colorful compared to the gray and fuzzy coloring of 4 and the Lost. We even have the return of some player customization. Now, it is just preset outfits, but I'll take this over nothing. The ballad story is a bit longer, lasting you about 11 to 12 hours. The story also takes no time getting into the action, with one of the very first missions being a full-scale shootout on a golf course. Now, the story is full of great characters and personalities like the aforementioned Gay Tony. We also have Yusuf Amir, who I think is the funniest character in the game. Yes, he's funnier than Brucey and Roman.
Oh, yeah. Hey, rap money. Hey, you know dance?
Now with dudes, bro.
You see this city? I run it. I run everything. I'll show everyone. I mean, look at this shit here. This is a gold phone. Solid. Beat that, daddy-o.
Wow, great, man. That's great.
Ho, ho, ho. Wait.
Speaking of Brucey, we have Maury, who is Brucey's annoyingly short brother. His missions are action-packed, and even one of them being a triathlon, which is a side activity you can do in the game. Now, the main antagonist of the ballad is actually one of Nico's enemies, Ray Bulgarin. Now, Ray made very few appearances in GTA 4, but he never gets dealt with, almost like he was forgotten when the game was being written. Well, here, Luis does some work for Ray, and it all comes back to the Diamond plotline. The Diamonds are actually what bring all the protagonists in the same building as seeing the botched Diamond Deal mission, which I love because it actually has like 3 different perspectives on it. You play 3 separate times if you do the base game and the 2 DLCs. Now, the ballad's final mission is this mega mission where after destroying some drugs, Luis catches up to Ray's plane, executes him, and jumps out as it explodes. Now, after completing the ballad's story, there are 3 main side activities you can do. First, we have the drug wars. They act very similarly to the gang war scene in The Lost, just with Luis and his 2 friends Armando and Enrique. These are fun time killers that pay okay, and they're pretty fun. We also have cage fighting. Yes, you heard me correctly, cage fighting. It's kind of similar in a way to Saints Row 2's Fight Club activity, where you just fight waves of enemies until you die. Now, Luis does recycle Nico's fighting animations, which is fine. They weren't going to do it, but I thought it would have been cool if like each character fought differently. Now, the main character Nico does appear a handful of times in both DLCs, and what I think would have actually been a really cool feature is if the game read your GTA 4 save file and actually has Nico wearing whatever he was wearing at the time, which I think would be a pretty cool feature. The DLCs of this game are actually very important, believe it or not, to the legacy of Grand Theft Auto Online, as the biker and the after hours updates are directly inspired from the expansions. Now, these DLCs are still available for $20 each on both stores, but if you want to get it cheaper, you can do what I did and grab the episodes of Liberty City physical copy for about $10 maybe. That's what I got it for at a secondhand store a few years ago, and that's how I was able to play these. It even came with a poster that's still on my wall to this day. But as I said, Grand Theft Auto 4 is my favorite game in the series, and I think it's the best GTA game. And I stopped giving scores in these reviews, but if I had to give a score to Grand Theft Auto 4, it would be a 10 out of 10, and it's Doc Friday approved. Please go pick this game up. If you have never played GTA 4, you've just played 5 online, please grab this game. It's relatively cheap secondhand, even just cheap in general. It's like $20 just on Xbox store. Please get this game and play it. You will not regret it. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next review.